If you're in a relationship with a woman, you have probably experienced a few days before the period begins, known as PMS, where your partner can experience extra heightened emotions, extra sensitivity, more moodiness, just not feeling their best. And that can manifest itself in fights, in disgruntled relationships and interactions, and it can just lead to an unpleasant time for you as the man in the relationship. And it can be kind of confusing and hard to know exactly what to do with that. Do you need to, like, quote unquote, put your foot down? Do you need to be extra sensitive? Do you need to, bend over backwards for your partner during this phase? Like, what is the best way to approach this phase of your partner's cycle when they are feeling just worse in general? The first thing you need to be doing is you need to track your partner's cycle. The reason why you need to do this is because you won't be caught off guard when that part of our cycle comes around. I can't tell you the number of times where there has been a really large argument in my relationship, and I find out later that it was because of the cycle, the phase of the cycle that my partner is in. If I would have known that before, then I could have changed my behavior. I could have, steered the conversation in a much more different direction, because I would have known why things were going the way they were going. So the best way that you can track your partner's cycle is by using an app like DuoSync, which is specifically made for men in relationships. It's made only for the man to use. It's unique in that aspect, and it'll tell you what to expect in regards to mood, libido, and just generally what to expect from your partner based on the phase that she's in. Now, you can use other apps that have partner sharing features, but if you just want an app for just yourself to track your partner, you can use the DuoSync app. Once you've figured out what phase of her cycle she's in, and you're tracking this and you know when to expect PMS, you then need to figure out how your partner best responds to you during that phase. Some women will want more space. If they're more avoidant, they're gonna want to be away from you. They're just feeling bad. They don't want to have to be within that with you. Whereas other women will want to be closer to you, even if they're not feeling like their best. Like, they want more attention. They want more of your presence during that phase to comfort them. So you need to figure out what type of woman is your partner, and then you can then tailor your behavior to, best suit what your partner needs during that hardest part of her cycle. The next thing you can do during this, and the best way to approach this part of your partner's cycle, this PMS part, is to be more sensitive. And that doesn't mean walk on eggshells, but it means be more cognizant of your interactions, of what you say. Don't be as blunt. Try to be a little more sensitive in the way you approach your partner during this phase where she's going to be more sensitive. And that alone will help relieve a lot of pressure, a lot of tension, a lot of bad negative vibes in the relationship during PMS. It's also important to note that not all women are going to act or feel the same way throughout this late luteal phase of the cycle before the period. If your partner has PMDD, premenstrual dysphoric disorder, then they're going to have way more intense emotions around this. They're going to feel way worse about this. But there are some people who barely get affected by this phase of their cycle at all. So knowing which type your partner is also very helpful in knowing how to respond. Finally, you do need to realize that you need to enforce healthy boundaries when necessary. This is not an excuse for your partner to beat you up, to put you down, to just be absolutely horrible to you. If your partner is using PMS or their phase of PMDD as an excuse to just be a shitty person, you need to enforce a healthy boundary there and walk away when necessary. Give them space when they are treating you poorly. Doesn't mean that you just completely abandon them whenever they're in this phase, but it means be sensitive to a point, and then if they cross your boundaries, you need to enforce your boundaries still. So those are my tips for how to handle PMS in your relationship as the man in the relationship. I hope it helps. And if you're not already tracking your partner's period with the DuoSync app, go ahead and download that in the description below. It'll send you notifications before PMS, before ovulation, and will give you suggestions every day on how to connect based on the phase of her cycle that she's in. And with that, have a fantastic day.